Hello, I'm Joe Baldiga with FANUC America. I'm an account manager in our education department. Today we're going to be talking about CNC Controls.
Hey there, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to get to talk with you and learn more about FANUC and its role in the market. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Michelle. I appreciate taking the time to talk with me here. I'm doing great and looking forward to our conversation as well.
Great. Could you tell our viewers who you are, where you're from, and what do you do at FANUC?
Okay, my name is Joe Baldiga, and I'm the account manager for the CNC Certified Education Training Program. So it's a department within our company that focuses specifically on education for CNC, robotics, automation, trying to develop a skilled workforce that's familiar with FANUC products. FANUC is the world's largest producer of industrial robotics, CNC controls, and factory automation in the world. We run about 65% market share in that area. So maybe if you're unfamiliar with manufacturing, you probably haven't heard of the name of FANUC. But certainly if you are in that environment, FANUC is a well-known name and the top brand that is used by large companies and even small shops. So our program to try to train the students is to give them an opportunity to make themselves marketable for the jobs of the future and get out there and work in those large companies using our products.
That's awesome. Obviously, you mentioned the large market share that FANUC has in industry, and I know that your focus is on education. How is FANUC partnering with manufacturers to help get these students ready for that large job market that you have?
Yep. So we hear the need so commonly from our industry customers that there is a tremendous skills gap, and they're desperate to hire employees that have this type of skill set. And so we hear that, and we want to be a solutions provider. We also want to be able to open doorways for students to be able to find a good career path, learn a skill, get into maybe an apprenticeship program, and then translate that into a well-paying career in industry. So primarily what my group does is we focus on working with the schools, trying to link them to manufacturers in their area. But really it's a trainer program. The value of a CNC or robotics program is really only as good as, I think, three elements. You got the equipment that you're utilizing, and it should be what is used in industry, because when the students walk out of the classroom and go into the shop, it helps if it's what they've already learned on in school. So that's the first part, is the right kind of equipment. Level two is going to be a passionate instructor that's knowledgeable on the curriculum and the materials. So we do a train the trainer program. We make sure that the instructor is getting the proper training to be able to convey and deliver that material to the students. We certify the instructor, and then the instructor then can certify the students. We also offer the curriculum materials, so online classes, textbooks, things of that nature, so schools aren't having to develop that themselves. Oftentimes, we know teachers end up wearing, several different caps. They may be a math teacher one year, then the next. So we've got some shifting around, and we're going to have you teach this topic now. So we want to make sure that the teachers are well prepared with the right curriculum materials, and that's really the focus, to get students trained out the door and then get them into a good lucrative job.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you offer a lot of resources for these schools. If somebody is interested in that, what's the best way for them to go about getting access to that?
So FANUC has a educational reseller network. So if on the FANUC America webpage, under education programs, there's education sales, and there's a link to all of our academic resellers. You just type in what state, or actually it's a little drop-down menu. You click on the state that you want, and it'll connect you and give you the name of the educational reseller in your territory. So these people are the best in the industry. They know education. They know how to work with schools. We have like 15 different companies and over 100 people that are out there representing the FANUC products and Levil products to education.
That's great. And why FANUC? Why, if a school is debating between maybe a different type of control or a different machine, why would you encourage them to pick a FANUC solution?
I think probably it is that pathway directly from education into what is used in industry. So all of the large manufacturers, whether it's automotive, aerospace, medical device, they're going to be using machines with FANUC controls the majority of the time. So having that FANUC endorsement for the students on a FANUC control is really just going to make them tremendously more marketable and ready for the jobs that are out there.
Now, do these students walk away with anything tangible that they can show an employer after they're done with these programs?
Yeah, so after a school has met the criteria for our certification, we would provide that school with a certificate of completion. We really have two different disciplines, which corresponds with the National Institute of Metalworking Skills, or NIMS. We focus on turning, which is lathe operation, and milling, or machining center operations. So students can get endorsed on both of those types of CNC machines.
Okay, so I know that FANUC, obviously, we focus a lot on the machines because, that's what we do, but I know that there's also a robotics certification, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. Yep. So then that's kind of was the original certification program, was certifying in robotics. So schools could participate in the program. They have RoboGuide simulation software, e-learn online training, curriculum, instructor training, and then they can go on to even become NOCTI certified. So that's a third-party company or organization that will do certifying, so they can apply for and get certified by this third party, which is nationally recognized. So again, that FANUC endorsement in robotics going directly into the job market.
Is there a way, or have you seen any schools try to mesh the two together, robotics and CNC, to do like a assembly type of program?
Oh yeah, for sure. We a lot of the times, and that's really, again, true within industry. Adding automation to a CNC machine or adding a robot to load and unload the machine is very, very common out in industry, and growing even more so as we see more machines where robots are becoming more collaborative, can be easily rolled up and easily programmed to do those tasks. So we see that growing. We also have our own connected smart manufacturing system, which utilizes our FANUC robo drill and smaller robots, as well as your mill with the robot tended, robot loaded operation as well. So
that's great. Getting these students prepared to leave these schools and get successful jobs. And as you mentioned before, there's a huge shortage. So what prompted FANUC to get involved so highly in education and provide all these services?
I think it was just the continual growing need. And I think it's even been compounded even more with COVID recently, that there's a lot of job opportunities out there and a lot of manufacturing jobs that are going unfilled. And it's been an area that in the education realm has been neglected for a long time. There was really, for decades, it had been a focus on a 4-year college degree. And certainly there's value in that. But there's some students that's just not a practical pathway for them. And they can still go out and get a certification, go in and get a great job in a factory environment. Factories aren't what they used to be, where they were these dirty, dangerous, difficult, dull, gross environments where you come out looking like a coal miner at the end of the day. They're super high tech. It's super clean, very advanced technology, well paying, sometimes even higher paying than a lot of the college degrees that our students are pursuing now in programs that just aren't really going to pay them. And we were seeing that with a lot of the crisis for student loans as well. Often the employers are so desperate to hire employees that they're willing to even do some tuition assistance, or you do a 2-year program and then you get hired on at a company, and then they pay for the next 2 years of your degree to get your bachelor's, if that's something a student's looking to pursue. So there's a huge need in the industry for people with these type of skills. We're also seeing it on a global competitive level, that currently right now we're seeing other countries, they're adapting to robotics and CNC machine automation technology at an extremely fast rate. And if we don't adapt and learn, then we're going to be potentially outpaced in the global economy. And, and that's not important, not very good for America's future. So this is a critical thing.
That's awesome. And obviously, a big focus is, keeping jobs here and supporting Made in the USA. So I think having those skilled workers come out and being able to help support that is very important for, our future. So, thank you guys for helping support the skills gap and get some, skilled workers out there. I know we definitely use them here at Levil as well. And we can see the need out there for more of them. So I think that's very exciting.
Well, and really, as we talk about Made in the USA, I mean, Levil is a great example of a company that makes their product in the USA. You build it all there in Central Florida, and that's just helping to train up our employees here in the United States and create that American dream, sort of as Leville's story is.
Yeah, we're very proud. That's one of the things we're very proud of. Most people think that we import a machine and slap a logo on it. Nope, it's all made here. And, we're proud to work with FANUC and giving a quality product out there and getting these machines in schools and getting more students exposed to these controls. So that's really, it's a great partnership.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at the market, you're not going to find many small compact machines with the quality and robustness of your machines.
Thank you. We appreciate that. So Joe, we sent out a survey online and we asked people, what do you want to know about CNC machines and 3D printing? We got some questions back. Do you think you can help me answer a few of them?
I'll give it a shot.
Awesome. So the first question we have is, what can CNC machines be used for?
Really, there's a wide variety of things, but really it's a computerized numeric controls, and it's basically a cutting machine that works within Cartesian coordinates, X, Y, Z, and with that, you're able to move throughout space. So you're moving a spindle or some sort of drill bit and carving out from a block of metal the part that somebody has designed. So that's a primary thing, or adding threads to a bolt, which would be like a lathe operation. There's a variety of materials that CNC machines can cut, and they're used in all sorts of industries, from automotive, aerospace, medical device, like I said. Just a wide variety of applications. It's almost like there's this whole underground thing that people don't necessarily see of these factories with CNC machines, lined up wall to wall, and just churning out parts for all various products that we use in our everyday life that just don't necessarily get seen by people in the day-to-day world. Yeah,
absolutely. Our next question that we got submitted was, how are CNC machines programmed?
So there's a couple different ways to do it. We have the traditional is using G code, which is a programming language specific for CNCs that they read, and it sends those coordinates for the tool and where the cutting path is supposed to be. Other options are, as we're getting into more CAD and CAM software, you're able to design a part in CAD, and then you use a computer-aided manufacturing software to actually design the tool path, and it will help to generate that G code. And then another option is conversational programming, which is a series of menu prompts where you can type in various details about the part that you need to cut, and it will generate that code for you.
So I know that, FANUC tries to make it easy for people to use these controls and give a variety of options. Is there a difference between like a basic FANUC control to a more advanced one, or once you know how to program one, you can program them all?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there are some bells and whistles that the more advanced controls have. And typically, it's the number of axes or number of motors that particular control will be controlling. But there are some that are scaled back that are a little bit smaller capabilities, but certainly very capable for the specific process or application that's needed. So if you're looking at maybe some like 5-axis applications, or even more, than some of our like 31i series might be better. But the 0IF Plus, the latest control for the smaller units for turning or milling, is a great control, which is the control that your machines use. Mm-hmm. And learning on those, the navigation, the menu screens are fairly common across all of the control platforms. So even learning on a less advanced FANUC control will still translate capabilities and understand how to navigate the menus onto the more advanced control.
So if a student learn on our machine, for example, with the 0IF or the Plus, they'd be able to take those same skills and translate them throughout the FANUC series. Maybe learning some extra things, but they'd be fairly well versed, you would say?
Yes, absolutely.
No, that's great. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to answer some of these questions with me. And, hopefully we're going to send out more surveys and maybe have some more questions out there to do another one. But I really appreciate all this information. Can we tell them one more time, if people want more information, where's the best place to go?
Yep. So FANUCamerica.com and go to the education page, education sales, and you'll be able to link up and get a drop-down menu for the reseller in your state.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.